Hey there to our 920 subscribers, our future subscribers, and all the people that secretly watch us without subscribing. Yesterday I kind of recorded the video talking a little too fast and because I was rushed, and I'm sorry about that. I had very limited time and I was fighting with noise outside, which I just had to shut my window because of a car alarm that won't stop. And I couldn't think. So anyway, I just want to apologize first for making that video so fast and talking so fast, and that was not my intention. I just ran out of time, and also sorry for it being so loud at the end. But anyway, today's video, I want to talk about where I went last night, and that is the hospital in Susanville for a sleep study. I only knew a little bit of what to expect because my daughter had it done a few months ago and told me kind of a little bit about it. So I will explain a little about the procedure, but before I do, I want to talk about the strange ending to my night because it was very weird, and I would like your guys' opinions and thoughts on what it sounds like to you. I mean, I don't know. It could have all just been a dream. I don't really know for sure. But anyway, so at the end of the night, I'm thinking for about an hour probably, I was anxious for it to be over because I was in pain and I just wanted to get up. And I was trying to be patient and, wait for them to decide when it was time. And so I was laying there, anxious, stressed, tired, in pain, and I was like, every little noise was distracting me, or at least in my mind. Like I said, I don't know if I was dreaming the whole time or not, but it's the first thing that really got my attention that I remember. I was laying there waiting for somebody to come say, hey, time's up, you can get ready, you can go. And I heard a noise. It sounded like the door opening. So I opened my eyes and I seen the guy walking in with some lady, and it was dark. I couldn't see her face. And she walks over to the side of the bed where I was laying because, they've got us in this, I don't know, it must have been a California king-size bed or something. It was huge. But honestly, it looked bigger than my California king. But anyway, this lady comes around to my side of the bed and she gets her face like this close to me and just stands there without saying a word. And I was kind of freaked out a little bit, and I shook my head, and when I opened my eyes, she was gone. And I was like, okay, that was weird. He was gone. There was nobody in the room. Door was closed, and I was like, all right, must have just been waking from a dream or something, So I closed my eyes, and it just, not the exact same thing, but similar things kept happening. I'd close my eyes, I'd hear a noise, I'd open them, and there'd be people coming in the room, and not always looking like normal people. Sometimes they look like other undead creatures or whatever. And this just kept happening over and over and over. And when I'd shake my head and open my eyes back up, gone, everything gone. And so then at one point, out of curiosity, I started paying attention to the sounds around me. And when my eyes were open and nobody was in the room, it was really quiet. Every once in a while I'd hear a little sound outside the room. But then I'd close my eyes, and all of a sudden it would just sound like the building was full of people being noisy, working hard, chaos. And then when I'd open my eyes again, there'd be something in the room with me. And I don't know if I was asleep the whole time, if it was all a dream, or if I was in and out of a weird dream state where I was going back and forth between awake and asleep real quickly. I have no idea. I asked the guy, but he didn't really tell me. So I don't know. I just thought it was really strange, and I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think it was just all one big long dream, or do you think I just kept waking up real easily? So anyway, the procedure, in case anybody is curious what you go through. I know it's going to be different for everybody because, especially like me, I'm very sensitive to things touching me, especially when I'm sleeping. And so it was kind of miserable for me. But then my daughter didn't really complain, so I guess the things don't bother her in the same way. But I was there for probably a couple of hours or so and had to sit there and watch TV. And I guess they just want you to have time to settle in and get comfortable, do paperwork, that kind of stuff. And then they finally come in to get me all hooked up. And by all hooked up, I mean get you hooked up to the point where I feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie or something with wires coming out of me everywhere because they put these electrodes like all the way around your head and behind your ears and like around the back of your head and in your hair, and a couple on the chest. You can see the marks from them still there. Some on my legs, to see if I'm moving my feet. And they had these belt across here to detect movement. They had one around my waist to detect movement, and which that one they had to loosen because it was hurting my back really bad. So that was probably contributing to the fact that my back was hurting worse than normal. But I mean, they loosen them if you ask them to. And because those are basically just letting them know if things are moving. And then before you go to sleep, they get on their little computer or device, whatever it is, and they measure or check, like, I don't know, I didn't see the screen, but they tell you to do things like, look up and down, look left and right. So that way the sensors that are around your eyes, they can, the sensors were everywhere because they have to detect like eye movement while you're sleeping, mouth movement, jaw movement, everything. So the sensors are literally all over. And I wish I would have taken a picture, but I was just like frustrated at the time. But anyway, so they have you do all these things like look in different directions, close your eyes, open your eyes, breathing through your nose, through your mouth, stuff like that, just to check, make sure all the sensors are working. And then they tell you to go to sleep. And I think I actually went to sleep pretty quickly the first time. I know that I was very restless because I was in a lot of pain. For example, so they put the thing that they put on you with the oxygen and everything. Well, they do that, but instead of hooking it up to oxygen, it's hooked to, I guess, a monitor to detect how much air you're breathing in while you're sleeping. And so the part that went around my ears, when I laid down, to me, it was very painful. It wasn't painful sitting up, but I've just got this thing I can't have, I can't even wear my glasses and lay down. Because if my ear gets pressed against them while I'm sleeping, even by a pillow, it is very painful to me. Like I said, I'm very sensitive to touch like that. And, but yeah, that's the first thing I asked him to remove because I was like, please get this thing off me. But in the morning, they, remove everything. And then you get to escape your little sci-fi chamber. And they had this bathroom, and I asked him, or told him, I'm like, this bathroom's huge. You should have a shower in it. It would make sense. It's pretty big. But it doesn't have one. So he gives me a couple washcloths, and he said, this is for washing your face, because, you've got this gel and paste all over you. And I asked him if I could wash my hair in the sink, because I was like, there's no way I'm going outside with my hair that's gross, with all this gel and paste in it. And so he went and got me a towel. So I washed my face, and then I washed my hair in the sink and got dressed, and yeah, that's how that went. And then my driver at the end, the ride home, she gets paid, I think, by the hour. And I asked her to stop somewhere so I can get something to eat, and she seemed really annoyed because it took them a few minutes to cook the food or prepare the food or whatever, and that's kind of frustrating. And so normally I'm having conversation with my drivers, but the vibe was so uncomfortable and awkward that I just slept the whole time. I was exhausted anyway because of being in pain all night. And anyway, I got home, and it's been a couple hours I've been home, but I was like wrapping up other projects that I had to do. And yeah, so that's how that went. But yeah, if you guys have any thoughts and opinions about the dream, or dreaming on and off, or whether you think it was like all a dream, I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts, especially if you guys have had sleep studies. Did it cause you to have weird dreams? And I'd like to hear about it. So if you want to tell me about it in the comments, that'd be great. So anyway, hopefully you like this video. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and get your friends to do the same thing. And I will be back soon. Thank you.